In the heart of Minsk, Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko and his longtime ally, Russian President Vladimir Putin, met at the Independence Palace on Friday, setting the stage for a pivotal moment that would define the future of their bilateral relations. With the 25th anniversary of the treaty establishing the Union State of Russia and Belarus approaching, the meeting took place amid rising tensions in Eastern Europe, particularly along the borders of Belarus, Poland and Lithuania. Lukashenko, always cautious yet candid, opened the discussion by addressing what he considered the most pressing issue facing their countries.
I would like to raise an issue. I did not bring this up during the meeting, but I will say openly that I am not hiding it, as I already mentioned it during my remarks in Astana. This is a very serious issue, and it is better to address it openly than to let conspiracy theories arise later. Dear Vladimir Vladimirovich, we are very concerned about the situation in Western Europe, especially along our borders, particularly with Poland and Lithuania, our neighboring states. We view this as an even greater threat than the ongoing conflict in Ukraine.
Speaking bluntly, Lukashenko voiced his concern over the increasing military presence near Belarusian borders, particularly in Poland and Lithuania. He argued that this posed a threat not only to Belarus, but to Russia as well.
Troops are being deployed just 15 kilometers from our border, a stone's throw away. These are not just Polish and Lithuanian forces, but NATO troops from other countries, including Germany. The situation is very tense. Poland is spending enormous resources to arm its military. But if they truly want to live in peace with us, as they claim, why are they spending billions of dollars on weapons? This is deeply concerning to us.
Lukashenko's words underscored his growing anxiety about the West's military buildup, which he believed could lead to direct confrontation. But his concerns went beyond just military deployments. Drawing attention to Russia's recent successful test of the Oreshnik system, a weapon that, while not nuclear, Lukashenko claimed, could deliver destructive power comparable to nuclear weapons without the fallout. Lukashenko made a bold request to Putin: the deployment of the Oreshnik system on Belarusian soil. He argued that doing so would send a clear message to Poland, Lithuania, and other potential adversaries about the readiness of Belarus and Russia to defend their borders.
I would like to publicly ask you to deploy the new weapon systems, in particular the Oreshnik, on the territory of Belarus. This would really pacify some minds that are already ready to fight against Belarus, as well as against Russia on the territory of Belarus, according to the national security concept that you recently signed and that we have adopted today in the Union State. We have, and I am not joking, certain places where we can place these weapons, with the only condition that the targets for these weapons will be determined by the military-political leadership of Belarus.
Putin, ever the strategist, responded with a blend of pragmatism and diplomacy. Acknowledging Lukashenko's concerns, he expressed his willingness to support Belarus's security by deploying Russian tactical nuclear weapons on Belarusian soil, in line with a new intergovernmental treaty on security guarantees signed earlier that day. The agreement further solidified the deepening defense cooperation between the two countries, paving the way for the potential deployment of advanced weapon systems like the Oreshnik.
The latest systems such as Oreshnik, they have no analogs in the world. In the case of group use, they are comparable to the use of nuclear weapons, but they are not weapons of mass destruction for two reasons. Firstly, unlike weapons of mass destruction, they are precision weapons. They do not hit areas, and they achieve results not by force, but by precision. That's the first thing. And secondly, in the case of group use, 1, 2, or 3 systems, It is the same as a nuclear weapon in terms of the force of the strike, but it does not contaminate the area, and it does not have any radiation effects because there is no nuclear component in the warhead of these missiles.
Putin assured Lukashenko that the deployment of such advanced systems would not only bolster Belarus's defense, but also be executed in a way that ensured Belarus's military political leadership would retain control over target selection.
Firstly, as for deployment of such intimidating, frankly speaking, weaponry as Oreshnik in Belarus, I believe it is feasible, given that we have signed an agreement on security guarantees with all available resources and capabilities. Secondly, it could become possible, I think, in the second half of next year, once the production of these systems ramps up in Russia, and as they begin to be integrated into the arsenal of the Russian strategic missile forces. Furthermore, there are several technical issues that need to be resolved by experts. In particular, it involves determining the minimum range while prioritizing the security of Belarus. Specialists will have to work on this, but I am optimistic that such possibilities exist.
By the end of the meeting, both leaders appeared satisfied with the course of action laid out before them. Lukashenko's request for the Oreshnik systems to be deployed on Belarusian soil was officially set in motion, with the first steps expected to unfold in the second half of 2025. The promise of security guarantees, combined with the looming presence of NATO troops, further reinforced the deepening alliance between Russia and Belarus, one that continues to evolve in response to external pressures. As the leaders parted ways, Lukashenko couldn't resist making light of the serious decisions taken that day, joking that if one wanted something from Putin, one needed to ensure it was promised publicly. His remark reflected the enduring camaraderie between the two men who have seen Belarus increasingly fall into Russia's orbit, both politically and militarily. This meeting was more than just a symbolic commemoration of the Union State anniversary. It was a bold declaration of resolve. With the backing of Russia's advanced military technologies, Belarus is positioning itself as a significant counterbalance to what it perceives as Western provocation. For both Putin and Lukashenko, the future of their partnership rests on this strategic alliance, which is being shaped by the fires of international tensions and military posturing.